Okay. We haven't um we haven't heard from Millie, so unfortunately we may not hear from her today. Therefore, we can move on to the Q&A. So, um you can unmute yourself, you can raise your hand and ask away. Like this is the opportunity. It's not as a formal Q&A, but more as writers talking to each other. Like what do you want to know? What do you want to share?
I guess
Okay. Oh, that cuts someone off.
you go.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I just wanted to say that last one with Clarabelle. I think you completely empowered not only the actual like scientific aspect of climate change, but you actually like really put the emotions into it, and you did a really good job of that.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Oh, go ahead, Catherine.
Yeah, I was just going to, I'm curious about how everyone generally felt about writing about man-made nature as opposed to, nature, and whether you consider yourself a nature writer or whether you're drawn to the made object side of things.
That's a really good question. I want to know what type of writers you all are, and like see how you took this theme because we got some good interpretations.
I'll jump in,
I keep
Catherine.
I keep
That's a
cutting
great
people
question.
off.
Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead. You're good. You're good.
Okay. Yeah, I guess so. Mine is kind of like the most like wobbly in terms of the theme, because it's a little bit about like nature in general. But I don't know. I'm Egyptian, so I take like a very long view of history, and I think the context of like a storm that happened in 1755 as like the product of capitalism and as that was beginning. So yeah, I don't know. I just yeah, that was kind of like a jumping off point, I guess, for me. Does that make any sense?
Yeah. Oh, well, with mine, I feel like I really kind of spoke to the ugly side of human nature, if that makes sense as well. Like how we always have that metaphor of like the sheepskin. And so I thought I could really kind of mix the genres when it came to that and like show the the uglier side of it when it came down to it. And that's kind of the writer I am. I kind of go a little bit negative, but then it's almost like a cautionary tale of some sort.
Um, for me, I like to kind of explore what we don't know about nature and like explore kind of like the unimaginable. Very like I always go into like cosmic horror. I think there's something really interesting about um realizing that like, humans aren't, like the world wasn't like made for humans. Like we're just like a part of this big system. And um I like to like right now for my MFA, I'm writing a novella about like objects that kind of like come to life and like do things. It's all a horror story, so like each chapter is like horrifying, but I really like exploring that like instance of like fear and like how humans don't realize how like insignificant we can be in the grand scheme of things. So that's kind of how I interpreted it.
I have never been very comfortable writing about nature, full confession, unless nature presents itself forcefully into my life, which is what happened in the second poem that's in this book. So I pretty much confine myself to the man-made nature around me, how it's changing not just the land around us, the community around us, the world around us, but also the people around us. It's cheapening people around us. And that's what I particularly find disturbing. And that's what I tried to write about.
I can jump in unless anyone else wanted to go. I don't want to cut anybody off. So a lot of what I write, at least lately, I write a lot of science fiction, a lot of speculative work. So I often engage with themes like climate change or humanity's influence on our planet and our world through a lens of what ifs. So that was my approach to the theme, was very much through a speculative lens of how is humanity changing the face of nature around us, and how are we influencing it, both in the short term and in the long term. So these are things that I have on my mind a lot of the time through various avenues.
And I'm glad to have seen so many interpretations because with Abundance, this is only our second volume, but I have tried to make a very niche theme for the volumes, but also not niche enough that it's interpreted only a certain way. I want you, the writers, to take creative freedoms and interpret it in many different ways, like whether it's cultural, it's visual. Show me what man-made nature means to you. And before this one, it was windows to the self. And people did show us what windows to the self has been meaning to them. So I'm very glad. I feel very privileged to have read your work first and now to be able to put it out into the world. Like, if I could, I would like rent a billboard and put it like, read this. This is good. Okay. Are there any other questions? Questions, comments, recipes?
I don't have any other questions, but I did want to say thank you, Jerry, so much for giving me the opportunity to not only help with this, like be a collaborator on it, but also to accept my work and giving me a platform to help and read it for you guys today. Also, everyone else's was so good, and I'm so glad that I got to see them like in person.
Absolutely. Like I said, it's just the work becomes, when you read it, it's really good. And you want to read it again and again. Like it gets to you. But hearing it straight from the writer's mouth is much more powerful. And this has been our first virtual journal launch. It has to be virtual because we cannot all be in the same place. Otherwise, we would be gathering some hot chocolate and reading poetry, but virtual for now. And doing it this way, I love it. I'm so glad that we can come together and read our work and promote each other's work. Well, if there are no other questions, I'm moving this mouse, like, yeah, it's this one, and I'm sharing this other screen. Before we go, I wanted to thank you all for attending our first journal launch and for listening the words of our artist. Abundance started as an attempt to carve space for more emerging writers who wanted to be out in the literary sphere, but were not quite sure how to do it. And now it has become more than I imagined. For many writers that we have published in the first 2 volumes, abundance has become the very first home to their work, whether it is poetry, short fiction, essays, or visual art. As we continue to grow as a magazine, I hope that the early contributors of Abundance go on to other creative endeavors. Keep refining your craft, keep submitting, and share the good news of your work with us. Volume 2, Man-Made Nature, is available now. Please share with your friends and family and let them know the abundance of creativity that has been gathered in these pages. And from the very bottom of my heart, thank you so much to everyone who has been making this possible.